Hello Internet, my name is Lave and I watched The Limehouse Golem, which is written by Jane Goldman, who I believe has adapted it from a book, and is directed by a Spanish director, Juan Medina. Set in London in the late 19th century, Bill Nighy stars as Detective Inspector Kildare, who's assigned a serial killer case where he's investigating a series of murders perpetrated by a killer nicknamed the Limehouse Golem. Whilst he's investigating that case, at the same time a young theatre actress named Izzy is also being put on trial for the apparent murder of her husband. Now this isn't a spoiler because it is revealed in the trailer and it happens in the first 5 minutes of the film, but Bill Nighy's character quickly establishes 4 prime suspects who he believes could be the Limehouse Golem. Whilst he's investigating them, it leads him to Izzy's case, which he believes is somehow connected. He even says at one point he's just there to pull at the thread and unravel the mystery. Now, I'm not ashamed to admit that I did get a little bit confused, particularly in the first act of this film, because you're introduced to so many characters who all have a key part to play in this story. What makes it even more confusing is that the film utilises flashbacks to not only give you the backstory on Izzy and how she wound up in court, but you also see Kildare imagining how each of his suspects might have carried out the murders. I just got a bit disorientated because I wasn't sure if someone was actually alive or were they actually dead, and was this actually the current timeline or did this happen in the past? But then I caught up with myself and I sort of got in the ebb and flow of the film. I was beginning to think that all of these flashbacks were just getting in the way of this really interesting detective story, but then all becomes clear, which of course I can't spoil. So reportedly this film has been in production for a while. Originally the late great Alan Rickman was cast as Detective Inspector Kildare, but then had to drop out because of ill health. So Bill Nighy took over, and I'm not taking anything away from him because he does a really good job in this. Kildare is a really interesting character. He's aware that he's being set up as a potential scapegoat should the investigation go completely wrong. It also hints as to reasons why he's not married, being the age that he is. He's a bit like Sherlock. He even has a Watson-like character in the shape of Daniel May's character, Officer Flood. It's really nice to see Bill Nighy taking on a completely serious role without a slight comic edge to it. It's become a running theme in every film of his that I've reviewed where he does a trademark Bill Nighy snort, and he doesn't do it in this, which is great. The film has plenty of other good performances, including Eddie Marsan, who has a small but very effective part as the theatre manager. He's great in everything I see him in, and I even liked Douglas Booth, who plays another theatre performer. There were a couple of occasions where I thought he's just doing an impression of Michael Caine with his Cockney accent. Call blimey, governor. All of the performances throughout this film are terrific, but in particular I really liked Olivia Cooke, who's playing Izzy Cree. I haven't seen her in anything else before, but she really brings her A game in this. She's terrific. I really liked her. The film has got really good production values as well. The set designs and the costumes are all fantastic and feel like they are late 19th century, and there are some moments of CG in there as well, which may be misconstrued as bad CG, but I think they've been intentionally done to look like sets. There's a whole running theme throughout this film of theatrics and pantomime, and I definitely think that has bled through in the CG design, particularly in some of the background shots. There is a lot of graphic violence and gore in this, which could have come across as a bit comical and over the top, but again, I think it's playing up to the fact that it's all about theatrics and pantomime. Someone even says at one point in this film that the audience craves gore, so it's being given to them. All in all, I thought this was a really solid murder mystery film. I really wasn't expecting much going in, but as it turned out, I really quite enjoyed it. I will say that I sort of guessed who the killer was by the second act. I sort of narrowed it down to 2 people, and it turned out it was one of them. But despite that, I still really enjoyed all of the twists and turns, and I kind of think that it's playing up to the theatre again. I think you go into a lot of theatres knowing the story, but you just enjoy going along for the ride. So that's my thoughts on the Limehouse Golem, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. This film has been billed as a horror film. I wouldn't go that far. It is really bloody and really gory, which was really quite satisfying, but I wouldn't say that it's a horror film by any means. It's more like a detective film, and I really like detective films which are set in the past, which don't utilize technology and stuff like that, because I think that makes it too easy. You actually see them being detectives, and that was really cool. It's not going to make my top 10 this year, but it was a really enjoyable cinema experience. If you fancy something different, then go and check it out. So thanks very much for watching my review of the Limehouse Golem. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give this video a like, and don't forget to share the lave. subscribe